Fundamentally different society, but Iowa Congressman Steve King says the president has it wrong, and Paul Ryan has it right. He joins us now. So, Congressman, how is your vision? The president laid out his vision for America, he even said that's what his vision is. How does your vision and Ryan's vision differ from the president's?
Well, the president's vision is a Keynesian economist on steroids vision that believes you can continue to borrow and spend to no limit.
Keynesian, by the way, just means you can borrow your way out of the recession, essentially.
Yeah, borrow money and then from the Chinese or the Saudis and hand it over to people and ask them to spend it and stimulate the economy in that fashion. That's what he's done with his economic stimulus plan. He is growing government, growing spending, and increasing debt to the tune of over $3 trillion in his term so far. And now he steps forward and says, well, we're going to fix that all by raising taxes on the rich. I don't think his numbers work out. I don't think he understands there's a dynamic growth that happens when you reduce taxes. Paul Ryan understands that, and so do the people that voted for his budget today. And I give Paul Ryan a lot of credit. I want to see the budget balanced sooner than his does, but I give him a lot of credit for taking on the two third-rail issues, Medicare and Social Security especially. And we must get those under control. By the way, though, this is the 55 and up are exempt from this under Ryan's plan, and all the demagoguery I heard on the floor of the House today about punishing seniors is completely off base. There is no basis for it whatsoever.
But, Representative, even some nonpartisan people who have looked at this thing, and even some Republicans have looked at it and admitted that Representative Ryan's plan, while certainly a grown-up discussion at this point, finally, does not take on the third rail in a big way, does not take on Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security in a way that needs to, that it's a lot of nibbling around the edges. And if you are going to be realistic, I mean, it's a different thing to compare it to what the president's putting forth, because that as well certainly keeps a lot of this going. But being honest about it, you can't really agree that it entirely takes on these third rail issues.
Well, Paul Ryan set this standard, and it was that he was not going to cut down into those policies on people who had organized their lives around them. And that's the 55 and up exemption that's in Ryan's. That's what keeps him from balancing the budget as soon as the Republican Study Committee's budget, which does that in about 8 to 9 years. So that's the difference. But to open it up and have the dialogue, to be in the position here today where we are in Washington, where we've actually cut spending and now looking at taking on the third rail issues, it's important. Let's expand the dialogue. I'll go deeper than Paul Ryan will go. I've demonstrated that. But we wouldn't have gotten to this point if it hadn't been for him stepping forward and taking on these issues.
Let me put you on the spot then, Congressman, because Ryan did take on Medicare and Medicaid, but he didn't take on Social Security. Senate Republicans, 3 of them anyway, have said we should raise the retirement age to 70 in about 15, 20 years from now. Are you willing to go that far?
You know, I'm not ready to make that commitment today, but I will say that those actuarials change a lot depending on the unemployment number, which affects it dramatically. And we're looking at these unemployment numbers that are bumping against 9%. How long will that last? If we can get them down, it changes the equation and it changes what we might have to do. But I would leave everything on the table. If we're serious, we need to march through this, and we will not get this accomplished until the American people are educated on this budget and willing to accept the necessary responsibilities to get it under control. So this starts the education process. A good dialogue in America is the only thing that will get us there. Short of that, we can't accomplish it here in this Congress.
That's democracy. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Congressman.
I appreciate it.
Congressman.